First of all, I'd like to thank you for coming. Secondly, I want to thank Promethean for hosting this event. The question I want you to contemplate is, early on, when you first were exposed to technology and you thought about the potential in education, what did you expect to happen?
People to get excited, as I was. I wanted everybody
To be excited.
Yeah.
So it was, if I could put this in my words, it was kind of a moment that was pregnant with possibilities. And if you're like me, I have great hope that that it will impact education of all children. So just out of curiosity, so we have a lot of experience in the room. How many of you believe that what's happened in your career has exceeded your expectation? Your expectation in terms of improving education for all children. Okay? That's the issue that gives me the cold sweats at 2 o'clock in the morning. And that's also the issue that we're grappling with at Dell, because we're good at selling, we're good at getting out and around, we're good at making the case, and many of you are excellent customers. And at some point, we have to see, does it all add up? And so we've been giving a lot of thought to that. And graphically, I mean, Mike, this is stuff we've talked about and pictures we've drawn on napkins over the years. What this is all about is how do we get from A to B. And if A is where we've been, and we had these moments where we were that were pregnant with possibility, and we have these expectations that are unrealized, can we describe that space, whatever it is, as B? Kind of with me? So let's just play a little game here. If you walked into a classroom, how long would it take for you to recognize that B was occurring in that classroom? How many of you could recognize it in a month? Okay. How many of you could recognize it in a week? How many of you could recognize it in one day? How many of you could do it in an hour? How many of you could do it in 5 minutes? It's kind of like name that tune, right? Okay, so think about that just for a second. You just described B in your mind. You mapped it out. You know what, I mean, there is something that you're saying, if I see it, I'll know what it is. You all very eloquently and heartfelt described A and B. And having gone through this process, what I saw was A and B wasn't precise enough, and that there are many steps along the way. And so there's a body of work that talks about border crossings. And so if you think about people being committed to A, and that some people say, you know, it's not working, and they cross the border. And over here, they become involved in idiosyncratic activity. And what this looks like is you see one classroom, somebody differentiating the instruction. You go to the classroom right next to it, and it's like Mike described. Now, the next step is, can these folks align themselves in a way where there's consistency? Having been in these situations, and many of you know this, getting from here and getting anybody to cross this border is one tremendous accomplishment. Okay? Getting a group of people who've crossed that border to come up here and stand united is a miracle. I mean, it is off the chart goodness.